Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Banking Show. The health insurance sector is on a steady growth path post the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, the premium growth of standalone health insurance companies has outpaced the overall industry trend. Aditya Birla Health Insurance, one of the leading standalone health insurance companies, has improved its market share to 10.7% among the standalone health insurance companies in the first half of the current financial year. Today, we have with us Mayank Bathwal, CEO of Aditya Birla Health Insurance, to speak to some of the emerging trends on the health insurance sector and the company's strategies in the coming days. Mr. Bathwal, welcome to the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, Monojit.
Let us start with the penetration issue. The government has taken several steps to increase the insurance penetration in India. However, the retail health insurance penetration is still hovering around 3%. What could be the reasons for this, and what could the steps? What could be the steps to address this issue?
For a product that is required by every citizen of this country, technically we must find a way to see how we can have segmented approach for each segment of the population. I think government has decided to play the role of being the funder for health insurance for the what I would say the bottom about 60-65 crore people through the Ayushman Bharat scheme, which is, as you know, the largest healthcare funding scheme in the world. Typically the private sector has played what I would call the third segment, which is another 40-45 crore, in which both group and retail segment work. But I think there's a missing middle in between, which is where there is a question of affordability, who can pay but they can pay less, where today neither the government has been able to kind of create some scheme, because of course for fiscal reason they have started with the bottom population first, nor the private sector has really been able to make a big headway through the really affordable products. And I think that's where a lot of work is happening between the different stakeholders to see how we find a model for the missing middle with that 40 crore people. But if even in the segment above, which is where I would say it is more about value than necessarily affordability, 40-45 crore people, what you just said, the retail penetration is very low. But I think they have to be solved through what I feel are four legs. One is more awareness. Second one is relevant product for each segment. Third is how do we make product affordable for each segment to the extent that they can pay. And the last one is, how do we create the experience for consumers who have paid so that they can then through word of mouth promote this. So I think each leg has to be addressed separately.
There was a huge change in awareness, increased awareness about health insurance and health in general post the COVID-19 pandemic. So, what are the trends we have seen post the COVID-19 pandemic?
It is interesting that, like if you look at during COVID, through the 2 or 3 waves that we saw, during the wave, the sales will suddenly increase because people are slightly more concerned. And then once things settle, the sales would, the growth rate would come down a bit. Post-COVID, what we have observed is that in the initial period, post-COVID, in the growth started, and the growth momentum has continued. If you look at it today, also this year, also the industry is growing at close to 25%. But my only worry there is that as far as retail insurance is concerned, not many new customers are coming. A lot of that is through increase in the ticket size. People are now, one trend I've seen is people are buying higher sum assured, higher coverage, because they realize that during COVID, the cost many cases the cost went up quite a bit. Even otherwise, medical cost has gone up. So, higher sum assured, but not many new plan. I think that's what will change. One distinct shift is that corporates are now buying more health insurance. So even smaller corporates who are not necessarily having health insurance for their employees. So the biggest growth in the number of people covered is actually in the corporate group health insurance side, where last year itself, if you see, there was about 23% growth, whereas the retail growth was about just 2.5% in 21-22 to 22-23 in terms of lives covered. So I think I'm talking of lives covered. Premium, of course, is 25%. So I think there's more work to be done here, Monojit. And the other thing that has happened is that because we tasted this whole approach of short-term policy, because the regulator nudge supported us in bringing COVID-specific policy.
Yes,
So I think
yes.
we are now seeing more innovation in the product space because the regulation has now allowed use and file. So we can put products very, very fast to the market. So that is one distinct shift that has happened.
Now, you talked about affordability. Now, we have seen in the last 2 years, especially after COVID, the health insurance premiums have increased significantly. Do you think the trend to continue?
I think the premium has generally increased about, like, if I were to talk about us, in 3 years, we've had kind of a couple of increases of about anything between 7 to 10%, twice. And the reason is this, that basically what does an insurance product cover? The cost of healthcare. If I look at the cost of healthcare, an average claim size, Monojit, used to be 40 to 42,000 prior to COVID. So if a claim comes, the average size of the claim used to be that. Post COVID, it has crossed 60,000. In fact, recently it is even gone above 65,000. So if this cost of treatment is going to increase, it is automatically going to be passed through the insurance premium.
Yes, yeah.
And so that is one issue that we have to yes, we can bring in premium management, but how do I bring my premium down if my cost of delivery, which is what we are funding, is going up? So medical inflation has definitely increased on
Okay,
one part. And the second thing that has happened is that post COVID, we are seeing higher incidence of some specific illnesses. For
okay,
example, heart conditions. We are seeing many more people having heart attack and other heart challenges. Many more people having infectious disease. So I'm sure you've heard recently this whole COVID wave and all. Fortunately, this time not many hospitalizations have happened.
correct.
If I'll not be surprised if you've also observed, and your listeners have also observed, that the number of times people are having these cough, cold, infectious conditions and all, respiratory problem,
Yes,
has
yes,
definitely increased post-COVID. Now, whether
correct.
this is because of COVID, whether this is because of vaccination, jury is still out on that. And the last thing I'll say is that, I think the continuation of this whole problem of fraud, waste, abuse, which we
Right,
need to address, seriously fast, continues to kind of bring, be a challenge in reducing the wastage in the premium, because every fraud or wasted claim cost that I'm paying is actually hitting the consumer only, because then it will
correct.
ultimately get passed through higher premium. So as
Right. But
an industry, we are working on that very seriously.
you have witnessed very strong growth in the last 2 years, and the growth has continued in the first 6 months of the
Ji.
current financial year. So, do you think the trend is going to continue? The premium growth going to be steady in FY25 also?
I think the lots of effort being made by the regulator, government, to kind of make sure that this penetration in this segment increases. And my sense is that this 25-30% growth rate that we are seeing will not only sustain, but will increase in the times to come, because one very big segment of the insurance in the healthcare cost, which is outpatient expenses, is not even covered in insurance today. And we will have to find a way to bring that into insurance coverage. The day that comes, this growth will only become higher, is my prediction. And therefore, I think for at least the next 8 to 10 years, this segment will continue to grow very fast. And the other thing that is happening is, because people are now also wanting to be focusing on health. So as a combination of both of these things, that focus on health, and if something happens, you must have insurance, ideally to take care of the medical cost. I think not only will insurance grow, but model like ours, where we are talking about health first, where we are talking about models where we want to encourage our customers to live a healthier life, because it's completely in the interest of both customer and insurance company, they will only become bigger and better in times to come.
The other issue I wanted to know about Aditya Birla Health is that uh, the share of fixed benefit products have increased in the mix. Was
Yeah.
it a conscious decision? And if so, what are the reasons?
Yeah. See, there are two impacts of a health event, right? One is where I have to take care of the cost of that treatment for that actual event, right? If I If a customer, let's say, meets with an accident, the person has to go to the hospital, get the treatment done. In some cases, it is surgery. So that is what is called indemnifying against that cost, actual cost, and which is a category of product called health indemnity products, which is bulk of the sales today in the industry. But because of that accident, it is possible that that person may not be able to go back to work in near future, right? They may have to take a break, or it could be because of a critical illness also, cancer, a heart condition. There is a financial impact of that not being able to get back to livelihood, right? Which is where fixed benefit products also help, because they give you a lump sum amount on the happening of that health event. It could be accident, it could be critical illness condition, etc. And I think both the financial impact have to be covered. And that's why fixed benefit products are also very important. And from our perspective, to give a customer a more comprehensive coverage against the financial impact of a health event, both products are required. But of course, starting with the indemnity product first, so that at least your actual cost is covered. And then once you have that, add a fixed benefit offering in terms of an accident cover or a critical illness product. So yes, we do think that both should be provided to the customers.
One issue I would like to ask is that the status of the National Health Claims Exchange. What is the status of that, and how will it help, if you can elaborate?
Yeah, I think it's a very important initiative, and I think I must compliment the government, and especially the National Health Agency, in driving that initiative. See, basically, what is the National Health Claims Exchange? To make it very simple, there are, on one hand, the insurers, and on the other hand, the hospitals. We call them the payers and the providers. When a health event happens and an insurance, let's say the customer or the patient, as we call it, goes to the hospital, the whole information flow today is happening through some web portals, or in some cases, even scanned images are being sent through emails, etc. And which is why you must have heard lots of complaints by customers that it takes a lot of time for discharge and pre-authorization, etc., etc. In mature market, what they do is that they build a technology platform between these two, which helps in information exchange. So the health claims exchange that is being built is a platform in between these two, the insurers and the hospitals, which will help. So what we will do, we will go and integrate with the health claim exchange as insurers. Similarly, hospitals should come and integrate with the exchange, and then information can flow digitally through technology to between each. So if I'm asking a question query, it can go through this. So firstly, I have all record. It will increase the pace at which the whole process of pre-authorization, discharge, approval, etc. will happen, and customer will benefit. And in the long term, because data will flow digitally, the use of data to do analytics to understand if there's a problem in the process, where was it? If there was a fraud, you can detect frauds, etc.
And finally, you have recently launched a product, Active One. How has been the response so far?
Extremely, extremely positive. Since you have given me an opportunity to talk about my product, I'll not leave that opportunity. We call this product 100% health, 100% insurance. And what does this mean? It means that if you buy this product and you live a healthy life, you can get up to 100% of your premium back for demonstrating good health behavior, which is physical activity, getting your health checkup done, etc. Which means that even if a customer does not fall sick, which no one wants to use the benefit of insurance, you're actually getting something back from this product.
On that note, Mr. Bathwal, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for speaking to Business Standard.
My pleasure, and always good to share our thoughts with you, Monojita.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that lets success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation. nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.